Let's go through some examples. For adjusting journal entries, there's basically 3 different general categories that we have to worry about. And so we'll talk about those here, and then in Deferral, we'll apply those to that company. The first type of thing that needs adjusting are when we pay things in advance. Sometimes the company requires you to pay in advance before they provide a good or service. The most common ones are your rent. Your landlord wants you to pay your rent up front so that you don't go for 28 days and skip town. Same thing with your insurance. Insurance is always paid up front. Otherwise, all of us would just wait until the car crash occurs, and then you call your insurance company and say, reinstate that insurance. So a lot of times you have to pay for things in advance. If you remodel your kitchen, they might want a down payment. There's all sorts of times this happens. So we're going to call this prepaid insurance. Again, the example we have here is we're paying our car insurance on March 1st. So on March 1st, when we make this is not the adjusting journal entry. This is our regular entry. We're going to debit an account called prepaid insurance. And then we're going to assume we just paid cash. And we actually paid $1,200. So again, this is just your regular journal entry. This is not the adjusting journal entry. A lot of times, especially in the book, they'll call this prepaid insurance expense. Okay, I'll generally just call it prepaid insurance so it doesn't mess you up. But what kind of account do you think prepaid insurance is? We send somebody some cash, and now on March 1st, have we gotten any services at all? And the answer is no, we haven't used anything up. Those people owe us services. So it's kind of like accounts receivable, but instead of owing us cash, they owe us services. They owe us insurance. So this is an asset account. And even though in the book, if it calls it prepaid insurance expense, the prepaid is the word that kind of trumps the expense. The prepaid is telling you that's an asset. So don't let that word expense mess you up. I'll just call it prepaid insurance to make your life a little easier, and that's fine with me too. But at the end of March, do I still have a $1,200 asset? And the answer is no, because now they only owe me for 5 months of insurance. I've used up 1 month. I used up 1 month, and so my asset then, hopefully you can do 1,200 divided by 6 in your head, is $200 a month, is now only $1,000, and I used $200. So if I used something, that should be an expense. Has any transaction occurred? Has anything happened other than the passage of time that made me do anything? The answer is no, but my accounts are not up to date. So I have to update them, not because I paid out any cash, nothing really happened, but I used up some services. So now my financials aren't right anymore. So my adjusting journal entry, I'm going to adjust at the end of every month here. So this would be on 3, January, February, March, 31. 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. Is that right? So we got 31 here. Since I used 200, that must be insurance expense. And now this one is an expense. And I've got to reduce that asset account by the 200. So once I did this, if you think about it, I had 1,200 minus 200. So now my assets showing at 1,000. And now I've got a 200 as expense. So now my books are good. We also, depending on what business we're in, we make people pay in advance for goods and services. So again, if I'm the landscaper and I'm doing major landscaping, I might have you pay in advance before I go out and buy all the shrubs to put in your yard. Here I'm going to say I run a website for job postings, so Indeed or Monster, and I require people to pay me up front before I start running their ad. So on March 1st, Amazon pays you $900 for 3 months worth of advertising. So remember, I'm the one running the website. I'm not Amazon. I'm the one running the website. So on March 1, this is my regular journal entry. I got cash from Amazon, so that's a debit for 900. I know this has to be 900, and I got to put something here, and I'm going to call it unearned revenue. Again, we're not really clever as accountants. This is going to be revenue. It's not earned yet. And remember, I can only recognize revenue when it's earned. So again, this word unearned is the key one. That is what tells you that this is not a revenue account. So make sure you pay attention to that. And what kind is it? I now owe somebody some services. So it's like an account payable, but instead of owing them cash, I owe them the opportunity to run that job posting for 3 months. So this is a liability account. I owe them services. This is your regular journal entry. But then on March 1st, same thing. Do I still owe them 3 months of job postings? And the answer is no. Now I owe 2 months. Hopefully you can do 900 divided by 3 in your head. So on 3/31, I need to reduce that unearned revenue because now I've earned it. So that's revenue. And it's for 1 month. Whoops, this is not a 9, 300. So when I'm done with this, my unearned revenue is going to be sitting there at 600. Not coincidentally, it's 2 months worth of advertising. And I've got 1 month worth of revenue. Other similar things when we have this, well, we're going to have this on rent. If you're the landlord, we're talking about the unearned revenue. If you're the tenant, and I never know how to spell that. That's probably not right. We'll go with that one. If you're the tenant, then you've got the kind of prepaid rent you'd have to worry about. If you're a gym or any type of club memberships, we almost always have you pay in advance because you pay but never show up. So those are all unearned or prepaid, depending on which side you're on. Even your Sam's Club, when you pay your $75 for your Sam's Club membership, that is unearned revenue to Sam's Club. And then they recognize, they do an adjusting journal entry every month for the amount they've earned. Same thing, Amazon Prime membership. Your cell phone usually has you pay up front, at least for your basic service. Your TV service, you pay up front for that. And then I'm going to put this over here. Anytime somebody has, you give them a down payment. That's going to be a prepaid to you if you give them a down payment. If you receive a down payment, that will be unearned revenue. So remember which side of the transaction, who you are. I think I'm going to stop here and make a different video because surprise, surprise, I make mistakes a lot and it's a lot easier to edit when there's only a little bit there.